Hey guys, Chris Woolley here, and I'm going to be showing you today how to enter the Professional Photographers of Washington Image Competition. So what I've got up here on my screen right now is the PPW website. That's ppw.org. And somewhere near the top, we're going to see something called Coming Events and then something with competition info. It's in this section that we're going to be able to see what the latest rules and requirements are for entering the image competition. So make sure you're checking that out because that can vary from year to year. Although this guide will give you the overview of what you need to do to actually start entering your images. Okay, so now that we know where we can find that master resource, let's dive in and start looking at our images. So I've got, say, this image right here that I want to enter into competition. I've already worked it. It's got all of its Photoshop magic on it. In fact, I've actually got all my layers on the side right here. So we need to start prepping this image for competition. Now, the first thing that we want to do, and this is an often missed step, is that we need to add some sort of presentation to it. So this could be something as simple as like a white mat that goes around it, or you can get a little bit more intricate with it. I've already gone ahead and added a mat to this image, as well as got the crop or the ratio changed just a little bit for this. You do not have to mirror this with the oval mat by any means, but I think it complements this image well and works as a nice mat for it. So I've got my image now that has a mat. So again, just noting that this one is an unmatted image, so it doesn't have presentation on it. For image competition, we do need more than just the image, no matter how perfect it is. We want to have some sort of presentation on it. I'll leave you to figure out how you can do that on your own, though. So we've got our image here. Now, there's a couple of things we need to do to prep it. And this is whether we're entering it into a physical print or as a digital entry. We still have to do these steps because we are going to have to upload a digital copy of all images to it. So first thing that I want to do is make sure that I'm looking at the right file size. And so I'm going to come up here and go to image, image size, and I'm going to switch this from percent down here to pixels. And this is going to show me that I'm 4,800 pixels by 6,000 pixels for my print image. And this is about a 16 by 20 at 300 dpi. The requirements from the official rules say that we need the long edge to be 4,000 pixels. And so I might save one of these as a print version. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to hit File, Save As, and then I'm just going to label this one print so I know this is the print high quality version. And then I'm going to title it what my image title is going to be. In this case, it's porcelain strength. So I've got the print version so that I know when I'm printing it, I want to have the highest quality version. I'm also going to save that one as a quality JPEG because that's the print version. Notice up here, I'm also calling this print. So now to get ready for the digital copy, what I need to do is go image, image size, and I'm going to come back here to pixels. And I know that my long edge needs to be 4,000 pixels. So the bigger number between these two, 4,800 and 6,000, is 6,000. So I need to change that to 4,000. And I do have this little linked icon here. This chains it so that I'm automatically going to resize my width as well. So I'm 4,000 on that long edge. My short edge automatically got resized. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And this is going to resize the image so that I'm at the standards that I need to be at for uploading it to our Professional Photographers of Washington image competition. If you're only doing a digital print, you do not need to do that print step. Instead, you can just go ahead and start at the 4,000 image. One quick note, we do need to be in sRGB or Adobe RGB color space as opposed to like CMYK or in the Pro Photo color space. So we want to make sure that we are in fact in that color space. More than likely you already are, but just in case, we can come up here and do a quick check. We can go image mode, and I can see I'm in an RGB color space, not a CMYK color space. So looking good so far. One other spot that we can check to make sure we're specifically in the sRGB color space, and that's to go edit and then come down here to assign profile. And I can look and see that my working color space right now is sRGB. And so I'm in the correct space. But if by chance you are not in the correct space, we can come down here and hit profile, and then we're going to get a long drop down list. But if you scroll up to the very top, we're going to see the top ones that we can do, which is sRGB or Adobe RGB. So your choice on that one. I personally prefer sRGB because it's more universally accepted for like web browsers and stuff like that. So I know that the viewer is going to be seeing the same colors that I'm seeing. But Adobe RGB also works as well, just making sure we're not on any of the others. I'm already in the correct space, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of that. The other thing that we need to do is make sure we're looking at the image title for our uploaded version. And this does vary from what the Professional Photographers of America does, so we want to make sure that we are doing it correctly for this image competition. And basically, this one's saying that I need to have it just the file name or my image title as the file name. So I'm going to come up here and go File, Save As, and my image title for this is just Porcelain Strength. And so I've got it saved just as Porcelain Strength, not my original file where I had maybe the model's name or concept or working title and the size and the print version. So I knew to upload this one to my lab. This one is just the title by itself. So not image one, but just the title. And notice that I've just got a space here, no need for an underscore or anything like that. So just the image space, if there's multiple in there, .jpeg, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. And it's gonna prompt me and ask what quality I wanna save as. The rules say I need to be at quality 10. And this is the same for PPA as well. So not 12 like I used for the print, but 10. That way I get mild compression. I'm gonna go ahead and hit okay. And I can see that my file name changed. Okay, now that we've got that going on, it's time to actually upload our images. So I'm going to open up my web browser and I'm going to go to printcompetition.com. And you will need to sign up for a printcompetition.com subscription. That's how we do our image competitions. Print Competition is an independently owned print hosting service for doing these competitions, and a lot of states use this. I absolutely love what the small business has done and what it's affording all of us professional photographers to be able to do, communicate, stuff like that. Now, your choice in terms of which membership you end up going for, these costs may vary depending on when you're watching this video, but as of 2020, we've got our standard membership, which is $10 a year, and then you've got your premium subscription, which is $14 per quarter. So not per year, but per quarter. So either one will work. You just need to have an account. So this $10 per year is what most people are going to do. However, just a little bit of an aside, I do find great value in doing the quarterly one. Not only does it support the website, which I'm a huge fan of, but the big thing for me is that you get access to the audio clips. So during competition, we are recording it and we are saving that audio, and that audio gets married up with the images so that you can actually go through and listen to the audio of what the judges were saying about your images, if there was any commentary later. So this is hugely valuable for me to go back and review my images, and it supports the industry. So I'm totally on board with what this does, but you will need to sign up for that subscription. Okay, so now once we're there, we're going to see our main kind of profile thing here. And I just want to walk you through what some of these settings are. You're going to have all your main contact information like your name, address, phone number, email address, cell phone, if you want to get text alerts from the premium membership, any alerts that you want to get, whether you want that via text or email. And over here under the achievements tab, we want to make sure that we're checking these boxes. So are you a PPA member, ASP member, certified professional photographer, photographic craftsman, master photographer, master artist, master wedding photographer, or are a PPA jury or juror in training. So we want to check any of these achievements that apply to you, as well as uploading a photo of who you are. This is again used in our kind of reporting and analytics, so it's nice to fill out your profile completely. Okay, now that we've got all of that done, we're going to look how to actually upload our images and enter the competition. So I am going to find our organization, and we are PPW, Professional Photographers of Washington. So I'm going to go ahead and click the PPW button here, and it's going to ask me a few questions. Are you a member of PPW? Yes, I am. So I'm going to select that one. Are you a first-time entrant? This one is important. If this is your very first time entering a PPW image competition, go ahead and hit that yes button. If you have not entered, or if you have already entered a PPW competition before, we want to say no. And the reason that we have yes is that we do have a special award and scholarship that's available to a first-time entrant only. So you want to make sure that you're making yourself marked eligible for that if, in fact, you are eligible. And then have you earned a degree from PPW? And then you can say, yes, I've got either no degree, my associate fellow photographer, or my fellow photographer degree. So you can go ahead and mark those, fill these out with what best meets your needs or fits that. The pricing segment, this is likely going to be changing by the time that you see it, but basically we want to make sure that we're following the directions right here in terms of paying the case fee. So we can click the button and say, hey, I want to create my case fee, and it'll allow you to go ahead and do that. So follow the payment methods. I'll let you kind of follow theirs. But we're going to come down here and we want to create a new image entry. So this is where we actually get to do the enter button. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And this is going to take me to a new screen. And on here, I want to make sure that I'm reading all of these rules as well as the rules on the PPW website, so that I can make sure that I'm following everything. And we're going to come down here and actually look at how to do this. So first thing is typing in my image title. I'm going to go ahead and type that in. My image was called Porcelain Strength. It's what I also named my image file to be. Category. This is where we can actually put this image so the judges know how to do it and how to evaluate your image. And the important thing here is that we want to try to find the most appropriate category for our image. And the reason that that's important, that we want to find that category that's going to be most appropriate, is this is what we're going to be eligible for the awards and trophies. So please review the PPW website in terms of what the actual descriptions are for each of these different categories. For this one, it's a portrait of a woman, so I'm going to go in the photographic portrait woman category for this. And now we get to select, are we doing a physical entry or a digital entry? And so I'm going to go ahead and hit physical entry for this one because I sent mine to ACI to get printed, and they were going to make a print of that for me, all done up to competition standards. They're called competition prints on ACA's website if you're ever looking for that. So that's what we're doing. Now, if you're only entering a digital, we just hit the digital button. But for me, I'm going to be hitting the physical button because I've got a physical print of this as well. So next, do I want to order a critique of this image? So the critiques are different from what the judges' commentary are during the live competition. So during the live competition, they're going to be discussing it and voting on it. They may have commentary about it. They might not give it anything but a score. You don't know. But if you want to get feedback from it, what happens with this critique the image is that one of the judges will take the image and they're going to give you actual feedback. What's working, what's not working on your image, and why they think it scores what that scores. So this is great feedback if you're wanting to evaluate your images and say make them stronger before you carry it on to like districts or the international print competition. So this is very, very valuable. So I'm going to go ahead and hit yes on that because I do want a critique for it. So now, next one's asking, is this Fuji Masterpiece Award qualified? And this one basically means, is it printed on Fuji paper as opposed to like Kodak paper or another manufacturer paper? And because I am physically printing mine and I'm having ACI do it, and ACI is going to be using Fuji paper on theirs, I'm going to go ahead and hit yes, I'm qualified for that. And look at this next one. Are you qualified for the ACI award? And this one, I have ACI printing my lab or printing my images. So yes, I am qualified for that. If you had a different lab or you printed it yourself, you would not be qualified. And then finally, it's asking for the name of the lab used. I use ACI. So I'm going to go ahead and hit ACI. So now that I've got my title, my categories, and all the descriptors on this, I can go ahead and hit create new entry. And look at that. It comes up and I've got now this blank form where it's saying, hey, it's going for PPW. Here's when the competition date is. And here's a physical print. I do order the critique. I am qualified for both Fuji and ACI, but I need to upload the image. And what's important on this one is that this image is the exact same image that's going to be printed. Okay, this one's really, really important. It must be the exact same image. So I'm going to hit upload and I'm going to go find my print competition images and print comp. And here we go. I've got my image that's already titled here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And now it's going to be uploading this image. And so I do not want to say upload the one without the matte on it. I don't want to upload the printable version of it. I want to make sure that I'm uploading the correct one that's 4,000 pixels on the long edge JPEG 10 in sRGB. So that's going to make it look great. And we can see down here, just a reminder that we're at 4,000 pixels down here and that I need to be at JPEG 10 and either sRGB or Adobe RGB. So we want to make sure that we're getting those segments done and filled out, and that everything's accurate right here. So we've got our image that's been uploaded. We're following all the rules so far. So we are in great shape. So now, because this is going to be a physical print that's going on, so it's not just the digital one, I do need to print a label that's going to be attached to the back of this physical print. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this print back label button here. And this is going to open up a new screen where it's got my information on it. It's got the image that's up here, and then it has all the other things like, hey, are you a master photographer, photographic craftsman? What lab did you print? What awards does it qualify? I'll sign this saying that these are my images and date them. And then I'm going to physically print this out and tape this on the back of my image. So this is a little reference. So when we're doing judging and analytics and stuff, we're going to be referencing the digital image, but this physical one is the one that's going to be judged. So this form needs to be attached to the back of it because it's got the magic number on it that lets me know what this image is going to be. So that was our print our labels. Now, if we want to enter multiple images, which I highly encourage you to do because you get, it's the same cost for entering 1 to 4 images, we can go ahead and we can create a new image entry, and we follow the process all over again with our secondary images. Now, one little thing is that we do notice that we have the 4 categories up here for the artist category. And the artist, all in caps right here, as opposed to the photographic that it starts out, is a completely separate image competition. So the artist category is going to be judging you on your artistic merits. So how well do you do Photoshop or Corel? It is not judging you on your photographic capabilities. So that means you're free to use like stock images and stuff as the basis for your art images. Whereas the photographic images, you have to be the original creator of those images. They are 2 separate cases, which means that if we are going to upload something that's going in, say, one of these other categories, this is a second case that we're entering. So it's an additional entry fee for the photographic and an additional one for the artist. So we have 2 cases that are coming through. Each of them can have up to 4 images. So just kind of noting out that little bit of difference there so that you can go through and make sure that you're doing it properly. So I generally like to wait until I've got all of these filled out. If I'm entering 2 cases, that's 8 images. So I'm going to have all of that done up, and then you can just hit the print all back buttons or back labels button. And that's going to print out a form, each one on its own page, that has the same thing that we're going to tape physically to the back of all of them. So once we have this uploaded, if you're doing digital only, you are completely done and all the stress is off. If you did physical prints like I did, then we've got a couple more steps that we need to do. All right, we are almost done now that we have the backs printed on all of the labels. We just need to print the main entry form to stick in the case. Notice a warning dialog comes up and says, hey, have you actually done all of your entries? So all of them for your case. I'm going to go ahead and hit yes, I have. Although yours will have more than it would probably have 4. And it's going to print out this entry form, going to be asking for your signature, the date, and if you have model releases for everybody on file. And yes, model releases are required. We just need to make sure that you check it saying that you have it so that we can actually publish your images like in the journal and on our website and all that fun stuff, giving you credit for it, but letting you know how well we did and bragging up on you. So we've got this. We're going to print this out and stick this in the print case when we're sending it in. Again, the step's only required if you are doing a physical print. If you're doing digital, you can skip the physical printing stuff, and we are going to be considered good or all wrapped up. And then we're going to have to physically mail in our print case this set of images to our salon chair. So to the person that's going to be receiving all of these so they can get them to the judges. And there's going to be information on who that person is because it does vary every year on who this goes to. So we just want to make sure that we are following the directions and paying attention on who we need to mail them to and paying attention to the dates that it must be received by. So that's the information that we want to find out. And this has been the basics of how to submit your images to the Professional Photographers of Washington Image Competition. One final reminder, make sure that you are paying your case fee. So this big red thing up here that says case fee, make sure we are we are paying that. Doesn't matter if you're doing print or digital. If this case fee is not paid, then your official entry is not submitted. So we're going to come through here. We're going to add up our total for the cases plus any critiques that we did. So we're going to add that total in. If you want your case returned to you, so mailed back, you have to add $25 for shipping. If it's a year that we're doing it in person, or you're coming to conference, then that can be returned to you at conference, so you can save yourself that fee. We just need to make sure that we're also hitting the button that says that you're the creator of these and that you've abided by all the rules with it. As of right now, this is set up to be paid through PayPal, so we can go ahead and hit that button and go in. But this, again, may change in the future as this becomes more streamlined. If you do have any questions about what this process is, reach out to another Professional Photographers of Washington member. They can likely walk you through how to do it. Or if you scroll up to the very top of the page, if you have any questions regarding the rules, policies, or anything like that, it's going to have our jury chair and salon logistics chair. So in this case, we've got Ralph and Forrest that are up here. And so you can contact either of them for very specific questions to make sure we're doing everything correctly. All right, guys, I know that was a ton of information, but I think we got a whole bunch of really good stuff here, and we walked through how to both get our images ready for submission, whether we're doing print or digital, as well as how to upload them to printcompetition.com. All right, guys, again, I'm Chris Woolley. Thank you so much for joining me, and good luck in competition.